Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some PathOfExile discussion. When the Voidborn Reliquary key was added to the game almost a month ago now, a lot of people were asking me how rare it was. And all I could say at the time was, we don't yet know. We know it's pretty rare, we know it's rarer than a Divine Orb, we know it's more common than a Sacred Orb, but we can't really say all that much more with certainty. However, this has changed a little bit now, and we've got some evidence that shows it's about 4 times as rare as a Divine Orb. However, there is a very important caveat that needs to be said that comes from GGG's FAQ on the Voidborn Reliquary, and that is that each item is weighted based on its rarity, but also that the drop rate of the overall key is balanced around what people select. They give a couple of examples here, but basically what happens is the more people that submit common uniques, things like the Wasp Nest, the more of those keys that are in the pool, the more common the key overall will become as a result. The data that we have, though, is for the key as it currently exists. And this comes from testing that was done by Reddit user Godsbow. Godsbow ran this atlas and did a high juicing strategy running Crimson Temple tier 16 maps. And you can read Godsbow's write-up over on Reddit. I'll put a link to that down in the description below. A quick note during editing that Divine Orbs that dropped as a result of alters have already been removed from this data. The thing that I find really interesting here, though, is that Godsbow's testing was about something entirely different. And that's what makes it useful when we're coming to find out how rare the Reliquary key is. So we're going to jump over to Godsbow's spreadsheet. Fair warning, this is going to be a little bit of a flashbang. Okay, so you'll see a couple of things here. Firstly, Godsbow received 151 raw Divine Orbs and 35 Voidborn Reliquary keys. So this means there's approximately 1 Reliquary key dropping for every 4 1/3 Divine Orbs. Now, this is not an exact comparison. The reason for that is that this is still too small a sample size to pin it down that tightly. What we can say with a reasonable degree of confidence is that the Reliquary key is rarer than 3.5 times as rare as a Divine Orb and more common than 5 times as rare as a Divine Orb. But where it is between 3.5 and 5 times as rare as a Divine, that's something that's going to take more testing to pin down more closely. The other thing that might be really interesting here is that you'll notice Godsbow looted 538 Fracture Shards total. That includes Fracture Orbs that dropped as entire orbs because they were upgraded by Harbinger Atlas support. And also in the same time looted just over 1,000 Ancient Orbs, and that is of course picking up all of the Ancient Shards as well. So 20,000 Ancient Shards, 538 Fracture Shards. This is pretty compelling evidence that Fracture Shards are about 40 times as rare as Ancient Orbs. This doesn't actually match my personal experience, but my personal experience has been a small sample size, and I have been quite unlucky when it comes to looting Fracture Shards. Godsbow's large sample size smooths out some of that luck factor. That said, Godsbow has not looted enough Mirror Shards that you can say anything appreciable about their rarity at all. Godsbow could have been lucky and be expected to get 0 Mirror Shards, or Godsbow could have been very unlucky and been expected to get 5 or 6. Either way, 2 is a quite plausible result. But when it comes to getting 418 shard drops and 6 outright orb drops, that is enough of a sample size that you can tell that Ancient Orbs are approximately 40 times as common as Fracturing Orbs. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. May your Val Orbs have interesting results, and may you get the Voidborn Reliquary key results that you deserve.